Okay, hey, well, that wasn't good enough to win any week. So we know our inefficiencies. We're going to, again, go in this week, correct the things that are correctable. We were in the same position last year at the same exact time. We were 1-2. So we've got a good group of guys on this football team. They just had a meeting that was unbelievable. So, I mean, I would expect to see them go back to work on, tomorrow they flush, and the day after that's their day off, and then they're going to be back in Wednesday. And I would say that they're going to be there with their hard hats on and ready to work. And, we've got a lot of things that we need to correct. As a coaching staff, we've identified some. We got better in some areas today. Unfortunately, we stepped back in a couple areas. So we're going to continue to work through our issues, and hopefully we'll turn a corner here.
First question, Fox Sports. What do you think you can do maybe to try and kickstart the running game a little bit? Do you have the pieces there?
Yeah, we looked like every one of those runs, we're just like really close to popping it. We're on the right people. We're pushing the right people. Yeah, I mean, at some point, in my opinion, we've got to get that to where we have a legitimate running game. I'm one of those people that, hey, I just want to move the football. So if that means that we run the ball and move the football, we'll run the ball and move the football. If it means that we have to throw it, then we'll throw it. So I really don't go in. I mean, ideally, balance is optimal, but sometimes you don't get balance. Right now, our running game is not where it needs to be. We realize that, and at some point it may come down to hey, we're doing the wrong things, or we got the wrong guys doing the things that we're trying to get them to do. So I mean, at some point we went through this last year too. It's almost like a carbon copy of what we went through last year. So we're very aware that we need to figure out a way to move the football on the ground. And believe me, we're looking at everything.
What is it that you saw in the post-game meeting that had you pleased with the demeanor of the guys?
That they're unhappy about what their performance just was. I mean, a lot of times guys, well, that's the way it is. No, they were up and like on point about, hey, this is unacceptable, and to each other. They guys standing up and taking, say, my play was unacceptable. So yeah, just owning it. That was a big step, for these guys.
Next question, Josh. I noticed on the defense, what did you see on the field, the defense that Case was going against? It seemed like they didn't want anybody behind them,
Yeah, most defenses are like that.
Was there any miscommunication on some of the throws?
Yeah, there were. Yeah, yes, yeah. I mean, we were able to move the football, right there in the fourth quarter. Pretty much the whole fourth quarter by throwing underneath, and we did. But there comes a time where you're working not over the top of the defense. If you're throwing the ball over the top of the defense, you're too far down the field. You're throwing in seams, and we had some of those things, and for whatever reason, a couple times, and it wasn't the same receiver, but they slowed down, and the ball's in the air. So I mean, that's not going to work well. If the ball's in the air and the receiver slows down while the ball's in the air, that's not going to work out very well, and it didn't.
Can I follow up on that question?
Sure.
Do you think that the running game will help the passing game by getting a running game going, or force the defense to respect it more and it'll help open up the pass?
Well, the running game always helps. In that situation, in the fourth quarter, no, it wouldn't have mattered there. Yeah, that really wouldn't have mattered. We were dealing with a time issue at that moment. Time and hey, we had to get the ball down the field as fast as we could, and as you saw at the end there, we used every down and every time out. So. And still had a chance to win it at the end. We were the last play of the game. We could win the game with that play, or at least tie the game. So yeah.
Question from Zoom, USFL update.
Hey coach, come up short today. Could you preview your matchup coming up with Houston next week?
Yeah, I don't know too much. I haven't looked at them, so I really can't speak on that right now. We're so 1 week at a time oriented. I really haven't even looked at them. We've been all our focus has been on playing the Pittsburgh team this week, so I really haven't looked at them.
One last question. What did they do well on special teams in the return games? Getting any 3 or 2 times?
Yeah, I had got to look at that. I mean, they've got good returners. I thought their kicking game was excellent. The kicker, what he hit 5 field goals. 5 field goals, and he had the one doink on an extra point, but which was big. But he really played well. I thought the punter punted the ball really well. Their kicking game did what you would want all kicking games to do, and that's to slant the field in your favor. Long one for your defense and a short one for your offense, and they certainly did that in their special team game. They did a really good job.
One last
Just
question.
really quick, what positives can you take out of the game?
Our guys never quit. That's the biggest thing that jumps out at me is that, like, down to the last